Welcome, everyone. Tonight, we begin a short series on the doshas. So for all of this month, we'll be exploring practices to balance our doshas. Tonight, we are going to be doing Vata Balancing, which is medicine for modern society. Everybody needs some Vata Balancing. It does mean it's going to be a pretty grounding, slow kind of a class, which will be wonderful. And just to give a little preface as well, Vata, if you're not familiar with the experience of Vata, you most likely are. Maybe you're not familiar with the term Vata, but Vata is all like the quality of Vata comes from this combination of air and ether combining as elements, supercharged with the intelligence of nature, and has all these wonderful functions within our body, our mind, within the world around us, to do with mobilizing, circulation, communication, creativity. So in the right dosage, in the right balance, it's a part of nature and part of what keeps everything functioning well. But in excess, that's when we get to know Vata usually, because we're like, what is this madness? Vata in excess can feel like racing thoughts that you just can't escape from, feeling like you're stuck in your head, but it's really flighty and spacey, fear, anxiety, insomnia, nervous system feeling really highly strung, and you just can't seem to ground yourself. And we know from Ayurvedic therapeutics that the guiding principle is opposites create balance. So our yoga practice can be a place where we can come and drop in and practice and embody groundedness and cultivating a kind of heaviness, something that's going to help to bring down that air, ether, spacey, racing thoughts type thing. So in light of that, if you're just getting to know the doshas and you're just becoming familiar with Ayurveda, anytime you're feeling like that, you'll know, oh, I can go to this practice. Or for any of you guys who are familiar with the terms of Vata and the experience of Vata, you can come back to this class at any time for a little bit of Vata grounding and balancing. So I'm just ready to get into it with you guys. So let's do it. Do make sure that you have some props available, because the nature of this class is that I want you guys to feel like you can feel really supported and have, I don't know what the term would be in just normal yoga language, but I know from fitness, it's like closed chain stuff. Like you want to hug in, you want to close the spaces as much as possible. Because if you think of Vata, it's open space. The more open space there is in your body, the more space there is for Vata to fill and expand. And then that's how it accumulates. So inside our practice today, we're going to do a lot of stuff where we're creating closed chain kind of experiences and, curling in and grasping our hands together and having props around us to feel like we're in contact with the earth, and having our palms, our feet, flat on the earth beneath us. All right, let's get started in a comfortable seated position, moving the flesh away from your sitting bones. And we'll start to just practice some sensory awareness to help us become present in our body, giving us a little bit of a guiding focal point away from the activity of our mind. Just starting by noticing any sounds around you. Some close by, and some further away. Now taking your awareness to the sense of touch. A very gentle feeling of the air enveloping your body, touching your skin. Your clothes resting on your body. And just starting to now relax your legs, relax your hips, soften into your belly. Relax your shoulders down away from your ears. Relax your arms, wrists, and hands. And taking your awareness to your back. And seeing if you can visualize your breath in your mind's eye, traveling up and down your spine. As you inhale, feel a gentle lift through your spinal column. And as you exhale, maintaining that lift in your spine, but just feeling your body soften and relax a little more. Inhaling to lift into the crown of your head. Exhaling, feeling your hips and your legs dropping down, grounding into the earth beneath you. Relax your face, relax your jaw. And taking your awareness to your breath. Without changing or judging your breath, simply become aware of the natural flow of your breath in and out of your nose. And slowly starting to deepen your breath, inhaling all the way down into the lower lobes of your lungs. Exhaling, gently contracting through your belly to release any last bits of air. And keep going like this for another few breaths. And then we'll shift into pranayama technique, alternate nostril breathing. I tend to teach an oversimplified version of this. If you have another version that you'd like to go ahead with, please do. We're going to take our right hand to our nose, and your thumb rests over your nostril, and then your first finger or your ring finger, whichever one feels more comfortable for you, is resting over your left nostril. So if you can with your ring finger, then you have your first finger and your middle finger extended, and they just rest on your third eye. So just doing whatever feels comfortable. The most important thing is that we're channeling the breath up one nostril and out the other, up one nostril and out the other. So we're going to begin by breathing through the right nostril and closing off the left nostril by just pressing your left nostril in, not your left nostril, like the base of your nose in. Inhale. Then cover your right nostril with your thumb and exhale out the left side of your nose. Then inhale through the left side of your nose. Cover the left nostril with your ring finger, and then open up the right side with your thumb, exhaling out. Inhale through the right side. Close it off with the thumb. Open out to the other side. Exhale. Inhale, breathing in through the left nostril. Close off the left, open the right. Exhale. Inhale through the right. Close it off, open the left, exhale. Inhale through the left. Close it off, open the right, exhale. Inhaling through the right. Close it off, exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Close it off, open the right, exhale. And just keeping on going in that same way, continuing on for about another 5 rounds. One more complete round. And then release your hand. Relax into your regular breathing pattern. Noticing how your mind feels. Noticing if that technique has helped you relax. Now take one hand over your belly and one hand over your heart center, and we'll take 5 rounds of Goranga breathing. Exhaling completely. Deep breath in. And say the sound. Goranga. Continue on. Goranga. 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 One more time. Goranga. And release your palms to your knees, allowing the effects of the mantra to resonate through your mind and heart. And slowly open your eyes and we'll begin our asana practice. I feel like that was already like a little mini Vata balancing session. It's so good to know that these really accessible, simple techniques can be so effective in such a short amount of time. So don't always feel like it has to be a big, elaborate practice. So sitting with your legs crossed, take your left hand to your right knee and place your right hand behind you. Take a deep breath in. Inhale and lift through your spine. Rotate around, turning to look over your shoulder. Soften through your belly as you expand through the chest. Breathing as naturally as you can in this twisted position. Come back to center and we'll change over to the other side. Right hand to your left knee, placing your left hand behind you. Turn to look over your left shoulder. Lift and lengthen through your spine, rotating around. Soften into your belly. And just gently pressing that palm against your knee to help you lift and twist. Slowly come back to center. If you have blocks handy and you'd like to use them, go ahead. I'm just going to rotate around for viewing purposes. I'm going to use my blocks a lot today. Actually, I decided before I came in, I thought blocks sound like a great idea. Grounding your hips down into the floor as you lift and lengthen through your spine and walk your hands forward. Keep walking your hands forward, stretching out into your fingertips, taking it nice and slow, melting your heart center down toward the floor. And if you like, you can just let your head hang heavy, bringing a stretch into the back of your shoulders and neck. Maybe your head comes in contact with the floor, or you can take a block, placing it under your forehead. Keep stretching out into your fingertips and just relax forward, letting your upper body be heavy. Gently encouraging your sitting bones into the floor. Inhale. Look toward your hands, walking your hands over to the left, reaching out into your right fingers as you anchor your right hip down. And again, just dropping your head down toward the floor. And staying there for another couple of breaths. Walk your hands back to center and over to the other side. Reaching out into the left fingertips, anchoring down into the left hip. Head is relaxed forward as your entire back of your body is lengthening. Soften through your belly. And raise your head, walk your hands back to center and up again. And if you're using a block, just setting it to the side for a moment. And we're going to come over into a bowing pose. And I just want you to be really careful of your neck. So this pose, we're going to place the crown of the head on the floor and that beautiful mama point here. And we are going to allow a bit of a weight of our body to rest through the crown of our head or to tip forward, allowing a bit of pressure through the crown of our head, but keep lifting your shoulders and only drop into it as much as feels comfortable so that there's no strain on your neck at all. So I'll show you some modifications. We're going to clasp our hands together behind our body, roll your shoulders in toward each other, opening up through your chest. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lay your belly over your thighs. First option is to just bring your head to the floor and stay here. And just let it be simple and easy. Just allow your hips to soften. If you'd like to go up one more step, inhaling, lift up the hips, lift through your belly, come onto the crown of your head. And just keeping your hips right above your knees. And you'll feel that sweet spot when you come to that mama point on top of your head. It feels like a little energetic release. I hope it does for you anyway. And it feels like that kind of gentle on the edge of painful, but not quite, almost like a massage feeling. If you'd like to go further, don't strain your neck. You can come down and out of the pose and just have a look at the demonstration because I don't want you turning your head. You're going to inhale, lift.
Raise your arms up, taking your arms up and over, but you're still lifting out of your neck and head and lifting in through your belly, lifting into your hips. And that'll help to transfer some of the weight away from your neck and head. And then your shoulders stretching, chest is opening as your hands and arms are moving down toward the floor. Staying there for about 5 to 10 breaths. Eyes half closed or closed. And getting ready to release. So if you're in the full variation, first bringing your arms back up and then taking your hands down to your lower back. Release your hands, place both palms on the floor. Now slowly lower your hips down. Your head will naturally roll down to your forehead and you'll pretty much find yourself back in child's pose. So just make any little rearrangements to bring yourself into child's pose now with your arms down alongside your body, forehead to the floor. Relax completely. One more breath here. And then slowly roll up, coming up to sit on your heels. Oh. And now taking your hands back, you're going into a little baby camel. Fingers are facing towards the front of your mat. And inhale, lift the hips, coming into a little stretch. So pressing your hands into the floor, lift your hips up, and just keeping your head nice and neutral. If you feel like your neck is strong enough, and you have no neck issues, and you feel like you can take your head back, opening up through the throat and gently lowering your head back. And exhale, releasing out of the pose by lowering your hips. Press down through your hands to press yourself up to sitting. Bring your chin and head back to neutral. Take one more child's pose, just a short one to take your spine in the opposite direction as a counter pose. Staying there for one more full breath. And from here, inhaling, taking your hands forward, coming up onto all fours, tuck your toes under, and lift up into a modified downward dog. Bending through your knees, lift into your hips. Have a look at your hands and check that your fingers and thumbs are spread nice and wide. Press the floor away, roll your upper arms in toward each other, and then begin to lift and lower your heels, alternating from side to side. Inhale, raise both heels high, straighten out through your legs. Exhale, and gently lower your heels down toward the floor, finding yourself in downward dog. Look between your hands. Walk your feet forward to meet your hands. Lay your belly over your thighs. Head hangs heavy, and slowly roll up, coming up to stand. Shoulders down away from your ears. We'll go through 2 slow flow sun salutations. Bring your hands together in prayer position, Anjali Mudra. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, keep the palms together, bend through the knees, fold forward. Hands to the floor. Bring the forehead toward the shins. Inhale, flat back, sliding your hands up your shins. Straighten out through your legs if you feel ready. Exhale, folding forward. Jumping or stepping back into plank position. Take a breath. On your exhale, slowly lower down. Inhale into cobra. Elbows stay bent, working in toward your ribs. Lift and lengthen through your spine, lifting into the crown of your head. Exhale, lowering your chest down, tuck your toes, bend the knees, lift back into downward dog. Check your fingers and thumbs are spread nice and wide. Holding here for 3 breaths. Anytime you feel like you need a break, coming down, knees to the floor, an extended child's pose.
And when you're ready,
on your next inhale, float the right leg up. Exhale, bringing your foot forward in between your hands. Flatten your back foot, knee to the floor. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hips moving down toward the floor. Take a breath here. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to the floor. Tuck your back toes under. Step back into plank. Inhale. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, one more time doing a cobra. Exhale, lower the chest down and lifting yourself back into downward dog. Inhale, float the left leg up. Exhale, taking your time to step your foot through. Drop your back knee to the floor and flatten your back foot. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, soften the hips down. Inhale. Exhale. Hands to the floor. Step back into plank. Lower down. Inhaling. If you feel ready to come up into upward dog, straighten the arms, lift the hips. Exhale. Downward dog. Looking between your hands and walking or stepping your feet forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, curling forward. Inhale, either rolling up or reverse swan dive up. Palms come together. Exhale. Let's do one more of those. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, folding forward. Maybe the legs are straight now. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, folding forward. Jumping or stepping back into plank. Take a breath. On your exhale, lower down. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhaling, lifting back into downward dog. Settle in and then hold here for 3 breaths. Sometimes just a soft bend at the knees can make it feel just a little softer, a little easier, just right for the mood or the day. So don't always feel like you have to go full downward dog every time. Inhaling, float the right leg up. Exhaling, step your foot forward. Exhale, back knee to the floor, flatten your back foot. Inhaling, reach up. Exhale, hips move down toward the floor. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hands either side of your foot. Step back into plank. Inhale. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale to float the left leg up. Exhale, step it through. Drop the back knee down and flatten your back foot. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step back into plank, take a breath. Exhale. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Looking between your hands and jumping or stepping your feet forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up to standing. Palms come together. Exhale. Take a breath. And then transfer your weight to your left foot. Draw in through your belly, get nice and stable, and take your hands interlocked around the front of your right knee. And start drawing your knee in. Exhale. Relax for a moment, take a breath. Breathing in. Exhale, hug the knee in, holding there for a couple of breaths.
Standing hip stretch, also nice and challenging for our coordination and balance. Exhale. Let's do the other side. It's also a standing warm-up hip stretch because we're about to do some hip-related standing poses. Exhale, release. Take a deep breath. One last time, hug in, holding there for a couple of breaths. Just really using this balancing pose as an opportunity to get connected in with your body, mind, body, breath, all connected. Exhale, not just hovering up in our head like Vata often has us do. Okay, and then coming again, 2 feet on the floor. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sweep the arms down and through, coming into chair pose. Nice and long through your front body. Exhaling, bring your hands to heart center, getting ready to turn to the side. If you feel, you can go all the way, taking your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Turning to look over your shoulder. And inhaling, rotating back to center. I'm going to go into an open twist. I'm going to need my block for this because I've got short arms. I'm going to place a block under my hand here, but if you can reach the floor comfortably, you'll be fine. Rotating around into an open twist, hand planted on the outside edge of your foot, and then open up through the left arm. And then we're going to step the left leg back, rotated high runner's lunge, and then plant the foot down at a 45-degree angle. Press down into your right hand, open up, spiral through the ribs and the chest, taking your head, turning to look up toward the left fingertips. Staying here for about 5 breaths total. Exhale. Bring the toes and heel around. Draw in through your belly, activate your core, palms together. Bring the feet together. If I was really mean, I'd say let's go into the other side. Let's rest our legs for a moment. Inhale, reach up. Exhale. Now let's go to the other side. So hands come down through your heart center, rotate around. Modified versions stay here, or if you can drop a little deeper, taking your elbow to the outside of your left knee, pressing the elbow against the knee, press the palms together, turn to look over your shoulder. Excellent. And getting ready to shift into the open twist now. I'm going to plant my hand down on top of a block, opening up, and then taking that leg back, high runner's lunge, revolving first, rotating, I should say, then spin that foot down to a 45-degree angle, positioning yourself for side angle. Staying with your breath, using that lower hand to press down into the floor to help you lift and rotate through your upper body. And exhaling, spin the back foot, palms together, shifting your weight forward, inhale. Take a breath here. Move my block to the side. All right, from here, stepping the left leg back, either way. Mainly I did that so that I can see you guys and you can see me. Stepping your foot back, turning your right toes out to point and bringing your left toes in, getting ready for triangle pose. Extending your arms out at shoulder height, shifting your hips over to the left, reaching out over to the right. Again, if you want to have a block handy, go ahead and use them as needed. Lower your hand down to your right ankle as you reach up into your left fingertips. So I'm going to give you a couple of options here. to go into some binded movements. So you can either wrap that top arm around your back and then tuck your fingers in the front of your thigh. Or another option is softly bend through the front knee to begin, wrapping the right arm down and taking a bind in your triangle. Modified version is to keep that leg bent. Full version is to straighten the leg, being really mindful of your hips and hamstrings. Don't do anything that doesn't feel right. Peeling the top shoulder back, taking your gaze up. And bend through that knee, slowly release. Leading up with your left hand. Come back to center. Bring the right toes in, left toes out. Arms are still at shoulder height. Slide your hips over to the right, reach over to the left. Feeling the thigh bones drawing up into your hip joints. Turning to look up toward your right fingertips. Taking a few breaths here in triangle. And making some decisions about what you're going to do next. Are you going to stay here or go into a bind of some kind? So either wrapping the arm down and through, taking hold of the thigh, or soft bend through the front knee, taking the front arm down and under your thigh, top arm reaches back for it. And if you can straighten out through the legs, moving there nice and slow. Staying with your breath. Slowly unravel. Bend through the knee, hand to the ankle. Come all the way back up. Toes come to point forwards and come to stand at the top of your mat. Taking a little mini mountain pose to just allow everything to assimilate. And bring the hands together in prayer position. And step the left foot back, spinning the back foot down at a 45-degree angle. Adjust your feet so that they're hip distance apart. Coming into warrior one. And I'm a really big fan of warrior one being comfortable. So if you want to open your back toes out a little, don't worry if they're not turned in at exactly 45 degrees, because it really just allows your hips to feel open and free rather than really constricted. Just bring the back ribs forward. Interlock your hands behind you. Press your palms together. And taking the arms up. Taking your gaze gently up. Bending into that front knee. Holding here for 5 breaths. Slowly release. Arms together. Come onto your back toes. Navel drawing in to shift your weight forward. Coming up to stand. Reaching back with your left leg. And planting your foot down at 45 degrees-ish. Separating your feet hip distance apart. Bringing the back ribs forward and interlocking your hands behind you. Raising your arms up as you drop down into that front thigh. Navel drawing in and take your gaze up. Beautiful. Slowly release. Hands to prayer, spin onto the back toes. Shift your weight forward, come up to stand. Take a deep breath. And let's do our last standing pose. Step back, bring the toes in, hands to your hips. And take your elbows back toward each other. Folding forward at the hips. Spine is nice and long. Lift through your navel. And then taking your fingertips to the floor. And then relax. Folding forward. Walking your hands underneath your body. If you would like to continue on, bringing your crown of your head, that mama point to the floor again, you might be able to separate your feet a little wider apart. For some people, that works really quite naturally, if depending on the proportion of your legs and your torso, etc. If you like, if it's a bit hard to reach the floor, take 2 blocks or a block and plant the crown of your head on the blocks, bowing forward. Staying here for a few more breaths. We're only going to do this one variation. Vata is typically cooling by nature. So all this lovely warming up of our tissues, warming up the body. Also a really nice balancing quality for Vata dosha. All right, press the hands into the floor, inhale. Take your hands to your hips, elbows pressing in toward each other, back behind your body. Straight spine as you lift up. And heel toe your feet together, shake out your legs. Just take a moment to allow everything to balance out, your blood to balance out. And then make your way down to the floor. Blocks and bolster within reach. Take a sip of water if you need to as well. And we're going to begin our seated postures. All right, taking your legs out in front. We're going to go into a variation of staff pose. So instead of sitting up really tall, walk your hands back. Flex your toes back toward you. Soften into your elbows, taking your gaze up. And lift through the spine, lift the belly. And slowly walk your hands forward, rest for a moment. And then take your hands back. We'll go into reverse plank. Modified version is to plant both feet on the floor, bend the knees, and lift up into a tabletop position. If you're comfortable doing this and you'd like to go into a full reverse plank, legs are out straight. Try and lift so that your toes can come to point. And press the hips up. Try to create a straight line from your ankles to your hips to your shoulders. And if your neck feels like it has capacity and no strain, taking your head back, but keep pressing the floor away with your palms. The shoulders, the arms, nice and active. Exhaling, lowering your hips down to the floor. And slowly lifting your head back to neutral. Coming up through seated staff. And then walking your hands forward. Folding forward into a seated forward fold. Flex your toes back toward you. Take hold of your ankles or a belt around your feet, or taking hold of the soles of your feet. And gently lift your kneecaps to firm your thighs. Lift your belly. Lengthen your spine. Exhaling, fold. One more breath here. Inhaling, lifting up. I'm going to do a little dynamic series of, of that. So lifting up into reverse plank or tabletop. Then inhale. Exhale. Hips to the floor. Lifting up through staff, so you're lengthening your spine. And fold forward. Exhale. Take a breath. Take the hands back. Lift up. Plank pose, reverse plank. Just keeping the head neutral for the sake of not risking your neck, because we're moving quite quickly. Lower the hips to the floor. Staff pose. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Hands back, lift up. Inhale. Exhale, hips to the floor, staff pose. Fold forward. Beautiful. Slowly come up. Shake out your legs. Come over onto all fours. And lift yourself up into downward dog. I'm going to give you an option here to implement some props. So you might want to come down while I just show a demonstration of some options, just for a little bit of extra nurture support. Taking your bolster underneath your heels, and your hands come forward. Softly bend through your knees. Just let your spine be long, lifting into your hips. Keep lifting through your sternum though, don't collapse in through your shoulders and your chest. And just feel that beautiful balance between pressing the floor away and lengthening into your hips, lengthening down into your heels. That sort of two-way energetic flow coming up from the palms, up from the soles of the feet, meeting at the hips. Or just practicing classical downward dog. We're just going to hold there for a little longer. We do our obligatory downward dogs in our sun salutes, but we don't often just practice downward dog as a standalone posture. So just taking your time. And the other option is really just to take that modification of softly bending through the knees, letting your head hang heavy if you like. And then slowly coming out of the pose into upward dog by lowering the hips down toward the floor, flatten out through the feet. Press into your palms. Inhale, lift the hips off the floor. Gently squeezing your buttocks, navel drawing in, opening up through your collarbones and chest. Exhale, knees to the floor. Hips to your heels, coming into child's pose. If you want to go into just classical child's pose, bring your forehead to the floor, arms alongside your body. Or if you have a favorite variation, or you've got your bolster handy, feel free to go into whichever variation feels appropriate or most comfortable for you at this time. Two more breaths here. Can't we stay here forever? At least till 7 a.m. Slowly coming up out of this position. Pressing yourself up. All right. I'm going to use my bolster for this. You can also use blocks stacked up if you like. We're going to practice crow pose, which is, I always have one kind of challenge pose at the end of a class. And crow is a really nice way to get into your body, to focus your mind. Is strengthening as well. And it does really sort of activate this home of Vata here. Not activate, but it draws on your core musculature to, and Mula Bandha to come into the pose. So if you are in the early stages of practicing crow and not fully established in it yet, I would say just take your hands to the floor and knees to the outside of your arms,
nestling your knees to the tops of your arms, and just practice keeping your feet on your bolster or your blocks and taking your shoulders forward. Lift through the belly. So instead of thinking that everything is about your arms, it's all arm strength, it's actually a lot of core strength. If you can really connect with your core, activate your shoulders, press the floor away, and try and transfer as much of that proprioceptive awareness and muscle engagement and lifting, recruit your whole body, then it's not just your shoulders, then it actually does distribute some of the load across the rest of your body. So instead of thinking like, oh, I'm just coming onto my hands, try and think like, okay, I'm coming forward onto my hands, but I'm lifting, I'm activating, I'm connecting, full body awareness, and holding that position. If you are able to go up into crow pose, have a play, take a sense of playfulness, maybe 3 or so attempts at crow pose. If you're a little bit worried about face planting, which is a reality that can happen, you might like to take your bolster in front in case that you face plant forward. You've got a cushion. So hands to the floor. I go knees in front, and then I just take my knees wide, plant the hands down in front. So it looks like this from my front view. Starting here, knees wide, hands to the floor. And then settling your upper arms, your knees, that kind of pressing in toward each other. Lift through the belly, lift the hips. Transfer it to side view. And from there, we'll practice lifting one foot and the other. Take your time, rest, recover, and then try again. And when you feel ready, it might be like you're lifting, and you feel really a sudden lightness, and you can float the toes up. Maybe bringing them down again, or coming into a full hold. Lift. And lower. Doing one more. Taking your time, staying with your breath. Release. Take some wrist stretches. Interlocking your hands, rolling your wrists around, or maybe separating them and just taking some circles with your hands. And release. All right, one last fun challenge pose before we start winding down to our supine poses. I'm going to show you another variation for support. We're going to go into boat pose now. So boat pose is very much, again, core abdominal work, but there's also some sweet spot kind of fun balance positions about it that can help you hold. So one of them is to press your lower back forward. So we often feel like to balance in this position, we tend to compensate and be like, but if you want to take your bolster, kind of press it into your lower back. And it just gives you that point of contact to help lift your lower back forward. Even if your toes are just on the floor, arms out in front, this is a really nice modification you can practice. So you can tag along with me now. And then maybe taking one foot up, another foot up. And keep doing that. That's a really nice way to start practicing this position and strengthening core, hip flexors, lifting through the back. Full version. Taking both. Both legs up. And then if you feel like you want to try without the bolster, taking your hands behind your knees, drawing your thighs in, lift your feet up, further still, straighten the legs. Maybe that's as far as you'd like to go, or releasing your hold,
Yes. I'm smiling, I'm smiling. And release. I'm going to do it one more time without the sound effects. But now you know the journey in, you can go to a level that feels like a good enough of a challenge for you. Inhale, lift in, lift the lower back forward, thighs come into the belly, raise the feet, maybe straighten the legs. Keep lifting your lower back forward, lift the belly in, release the arms. Take out your legs. Aye, aye, aye. Wonderful. Okay, let's go over onto our bellies now. We're going into locust pose, starting with your palms stacked and your forehead resting on the back of your hands. We'll take our legs up, but relax through your shoulders and your head. Holding your legs up in the air, pointing into your toes. Feeling your legs, your glutes, your lower back working. And exhale. Now, pressing the front of your feet and the legs into the mat. Squeeze your buttocks, reaching your arms out in front, raising the arms up. If that feels too strong, taking them down by your sides, lift the chest. Taking your eyes just in front of you. Squeeze your buttocks, squeeze your legs. And short rest, taking your hands to the floor, resting your arms and your legs. Relax your entire body. Now inhaling. Let's do both at the same time. Raising the arms, raising the legs. Allowing your feet to naturally come apart. Gently lift through your belly button. Exhale. Release. Turn your head to one side. Roll over onto your back. And hug your knees into your chest. Start by drawing your knees in, lengthening your tailbone down toward the floor. Just like we did in the standing pose at the beginning of our practice, straightening one leg out, just allowing it to rest on the floor as you hug the other knee in toward your upper body and change sides. So this pose is called wind releasing pose. Great for excess vata. So yes, just be mindful. You guys are at home, so you're in the comfort of your own home. You can, yes, release wind as needed. Just keep switching from side to side, giving your hips a nice stretch, working in that abdominal region. And now let's do both knees together one more time. So allow your knees to come apart, hug your knees in, lengthen your tailbone down toward the floor for a moment. And then just soften through your hips, hug your knees in, allowing your tailbone to naturally curl up off the floor. Relax both feet to the floor. Rock your knees from side to side. Gradually taking the knees all the way over to one side. And all the way over to the other side. Come back to center, straighten out through your left leg, and take your right knee across your body, extending out through the right arm, turning to look toward your right fingertips, placing your left hand on your right thigh, coming into a supine spinal twist, gently encouraging your shoulder and your knee down toward the floor in opposite directions. Maybe starting to half close or close your eyes as we start winding down our practice. Two more full breaths here. Slowly come back to center. Straighten out the right leg, bend through the left knee, taking your left leg over to the right side of your body, extending your left arm out at shoulder height. Place your right hand on top of your left thigh and begin to work your knee and your shoulder down toward the floor. Turning to look to the left, feeling the twist all the way from the base of your spine up into your neck. And slowly release. Come back to center, straighten out both legs. Take a deep breath. Just checking in with your body and seeing if there are any last stretches or poses your body is craving. Going ahead and spending about a minute or so doing that, and then finding yourself in a comfortable position for relaxation. So ideally going into Shavasana, corpse pose, with your legs outstretched, feet falling out to the side, arms alongside your body, palms up. I'm just giving you guys about a minute or so to make yourself, to wind out your practice, I should say, with your any last stretches, and then getting comfortable. Maybe taking an eye bag over your eyes or a cloth to block out the light. And then starting to get settled for guided relaxation. So it'll just be the same as usual, simple body awareness. Each time I mention part of your body, just focus on gently relaxing that body part. And we'll journey from your feet all the way up your legs, your torso, your arms, your spine. Your entire body will be consciously relaxed, allowing you to drift into a deep state of relaxation. So you should be nice and comfortable now. So just taking your breath and your awareness all the way down to the soles of your feet. Relax your toes, from your big toes to your little toes. Relax the soles of your feet, your inner arches and outer arches. And feel your heels getting heavier and heavier as they rest against the floor. Relax your ankles. Soften into your calf muscles. And feel your shins to be heavy. Relax your knees and all the muscles, ligaments and tendons surrounding your knee joints. Relax your thighs. The tops of your thighs, your inner thighs and outer thighs, and your hamstrings. Relax your left hip and your right hip. And feel the sides of your torso melting down toward the floor. Soften into your belly. And taking some extra loving awareness down into that lower region of your abdomen, the house of Vata. Visualizing your breath circulating this region like a healing white light, bringing fresh prana and oxygen, all kinds of nutrients. And every exhalation carrying away any toxins that need to be expelled. Using this visualization of channeling your breath with relaxed awareness to help just neutralize this whole area, helping to balance out any excess. Taking that same visualization up through the upper abdominal region. Just for a few breaths. And then up into the lungs. Now gently releasing this visualization by continuing to breathe and maintaining that beautiful connection with your body as we begin to relax the muscles again. Relaxing all the muscles of your belly. Relaxing into your chest. Relax your ribs and all the muscles in between each rib. Soften into your heart center. And relax into your shoulders, starting from your collarbone area. And relaxing into the tops of your shoulders. Relax down into your shoulder blades. Trying to just spend an extra bit of time here, consciously relaxing any tension stored in the shoulders. Just exhaling and letting go, letting go. Now relaxing into your upper arms, your elbows, your forearms, your wrists, and your hands. Relax your fingers and become aware of the gentle prickling sensation of life force circulating your palms. And gently moving your awareness down to your lower back area. Feeling your sacrum broadening and softening. Relax your lower back, your middle back, your upper back, and your neck. All the muscles either side of your spine are softening and relaxing. Feel your head getting heavier and heavier as it rests against the floor. Relax into your forehead. And relax your eyes. Soften into your jaw. And soften into your mouth. Your tongue is relaxed and your lips are softly touching. Your entire body feels heavy and relaxed. You feel safe and warm. And now easily able to focus your mind on the ancient wisdom of Aham Brahmasmi. I am not my body. I am not my mind. I am spirit soul, an eternal spark of the Supreme Soul. And there's so much depth to this mantra, Aham Brahmasmi, so much profound wisdom that can take us a lifetime or many lifetimes to fully realize. But something on a very practical level that we can turn to this mantra when we're feeling maybe a bit overwhelmed by Vata and we're stuck in our mind, we're a little bit out of touch with our body, and we're feeling a little bit like we've lost our sense of bearings with our own vehicle. A nice way to start coming back into a sense of yourself and feeling centered is to take a few deep breaths, maybe even some Gauranga breaths, and come back to this very simple mantra. I'm not my body. I'm not my mind. I'm spirit soul. You're seated within the body. You're the silent witness to your mind. And you actually have the power to take a few deep breaths, to take charge of your nervous system, take charge of your mind and body again, and get the energies of your body under control, whether it's Vata or something else going on. So drawing on this ancient and wonderful spiritual wisdom in practical ways throughout our life can really help us to get centered in the most profound way that can have other knock-on benefits as well. So don't leave it for just your meditation practice. It can be something you can turn to when you're feeling like you need to get grounded. Just starting now to come back into awareness. Starting to wriggle your fingers and toes. Very slowly and gently rocking your head from side to side. Maybe starting to stretch out into your limbs, rolling your hands and wrists, rolling your feet and ankles. And then when you're ready, rolling over onto your right side, taking your hands underneath your cheek like a little pillow, and taking a moment on your side. And pressing yourself up to sit comfortably. Or if you're a happy camper lying down and you just want to be in a bit of a sound bath for the kirtan, you can just stay laying there. Let the sounds wash over you. We're going to finish off chanting Gopala, Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Just allowing these beautiful sacred mantras to come in through your ears, into your mind, down into your heart, embracing the sounds with your heart. Gopala, Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala, Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Your turn. Gopala, Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala, Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. My turn. Gopala, Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. 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 Last time. Gopala, Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala, Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. All right. We'll bring our hands together in prayer position, bowing our heads to offer our respects to each other. And bowing our heads once more to offer our respects to the Supreme Soul. Namaste. Thank you so much for coming to practice tonight. And for those of you who are watching the replay, I hope you enjoyed the class tonight and that you're feeling nice and grounded. Cool. Everyone can drift off to bed now, it looks like. All right, awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a nice night. Thanks, Leanne.